Boker Tov, for the ones who speak Hebrew. What I want to do in the next 25 minutes is to share with you a little bit about customer success and Tatango in the customer success market. So I'll skip the first slide because you already know who I am, and I'll speak about Tatango. Tatango was founded in Israel around 8 years ago. Since then, we expanded, and we now have 4 main offices around the world. Main one here in Israel, where we have Tatango Labs in the new Israeli building above Sarona, I assume. Second one is in San Mateo. That's the second biggest one where we had our business. And in addition, we have offices in New York and Kiev. The main mission that Tatango brings to the market is accelerating the customer success economy. This is what we've trying to do for the past 8 years, and this is what I want to share with you in the next few minutes. So before we'll drill down to the specific, we are working, and I believe many of you are aware of it, with many enterprise companies, specifically SAP, CA, Google, and many other examples that you can see on the board, as well as other mid-market companies that are growing with Tatango to actually be one of the biggest ones. So looking a little bit on what customer success have been till 2016. Most of us have been doing the things that you can see right now on the board. Looking on customer health, looking on the different account segments, looking about early warning systems. This is more of the same right now. All the customers are doing it. Most of us that are sitting here in this room, I'm sure, are practicing that on a daily basis. But this is what customer success have been till 2016. Since then, customer success have changed, and as was discussed here a little bit before, customer success is now part of the company and part of driving to the company growth. The thing that struck us when we started to work on customer success, and actually I joined Tatango around 2015, and the first thing we understood, and I think was explained a little bit before, is that customer success is not a function. Customer success is a mindset. The whole company needs to look on customer success and make sure that everyone are engaged within customer success. This is not only the customer success team. This is the product team. This is the marketing team. This is the support team. If you will think about it, each one of the people that is working for a specific company has an interaction with the customer at the end of the day. And in order to deliver the right customer success, we need to make sure that we are all driving that message. And as part of that, we have released a few years ago Zoe product, which aims for the customer success among the company, not only for the customer success team. If you will look on Tatango product, you have the Customer Success Center, Spark, that is very focused, and we'll speak about it in a minute, for the customer success team. But Zoe can enable the whole company to make sure that they are taking active part in customer success. And to my mind, and to Tatango's opinion, unless the whole company will be focused around customer success, it will be very hard to achieve it. So if I'm looking a little bit of the new challenges, and as I mentioned, most of the companies are already doing the basic customer success, the things that are out there for all of us. But there are things that are more than that. The world has become bigger and more complex. If in the past we saw customer success mainly around small companies, mid-market companies, today every enterprise company has a customer success practice. And I'm sure the ones here that are working in an enterprise company saw that in the past, and I can assure you that we are seeing it looking on the different customers that we right now have. Some of you are already aware for the engagement between Tatango and SAP. Tatango has implemented customer success for SAP, the biggest implementation of customer success ever. And this is definitely proof of the fact that customer success is happening for the enterprise, not only within mid-market or smaller companies. So the world has become much more complex. Companies would like to raise the bar. And why is it? Because we, as a customer, want to get more. Each one of us would like to be treated very well as a customer. Think about the experience that you as a consumer are expecting when you are purchasing a package from one of the vendors here in Israel or at the state from Amazon. Think about the experience that you would like to get when you're riding a cab, when you're using an Uber. You would like to get a different experience, a supreme experience. And this is why all of us as consumers would like to make sure that as a customers, we will get the best experience. And this is where customer experience today is bigger. It's different. It's require different bar of achievement for each one of the companies. Sorry. Two things that we would like to make sure that we are focusing on and we are solving in Tatango. The first one is the whole data, and the second one is how do we operationalize the organization around data? And what does it mean, data in the right context and in real time? Last week, I went to a bar at San Mateo, not here, and the bartender asked for my ID before I ordered a glass of wine. Besides the fact that it was very flattering to be asked for an ID in my age, he actually wanted to make sure that I'm above 18 and I can drink wine. He knew which wine I want. Once he asked that, he gave me a glass of red Malbec, which was awesome. And then when the cup became almost empty, he came back with another glass of the same wine that I already like and asked me whether I would like to get another one. He knew exactly which wine I like, and he knew already that I'm above the drinking age, which means he used the data that he already had in the right context in order to make sure that I will get a great experience. This is what it means to use data in the right context and in real time. Not only collect the data, but to know how to use the data and when to use it. The second thing is you would like to make sure that when you have the data, the whole company is actually following the data and leveraging that for a customer success, for the success of your customers. It's not enough to have tons of data on your customers. You need to make sure that you're using the right methodology, the right best practices, and the right way in order to drive the results around that. When we did an analysis among our customers and also around people that are not currently working with Tatango, but since then actually become customers of us, we looked on the different engagements that each one of our customers have. And there's a long list here. I don't think each one of the details is important. But you can see that most of the customers are actually driving onboarding, escalations, business reviews. These are things that each one of us are driving as part of customer success. We understood that there is something here that is actually repeatable within every company. Every company would like to focus around those few flows and engagements. And the next thing that we learned was that customer success is not a straight line. It's not a place where you're starting a process and then at the end of it, you deliver a goal and it's ended. This is not the case. As was mentioned before, you want to grow with your customers. You want to make sure that you are delivering them on the results or on the goals they had. And then when they have different results and different goals because the company actually matured, you want to make sure that you're sending them to the next phase for their success. So how do you take all of it and make it a practice? How do you make sure that whatever you have in mind is right now being driven in the right way for customer success? What we decided is that the best way to look on it will be almost like in development. Within Agile development, what we are doing, we are developing a different sprints. We are making sure that each sprint will have its own goal and will have a very specific time frame in which I can measure my results. We took the customer journey, the whole customer flow, and we actually decided to split it to different passes, different blocks. Each one of them is measurable. Each one of them has its own results, and each one of them has a way to measure those goals. And we'll look at the whole engagement, the whole customer engagement, looking at those different blocks. We decided to call them success blocks. Each one of them has goals associated with that. Before my session, it was mentioned at least once or twice that the most important thing is to make sure that the customers are getting their desired results, their desired outcome. Customers has goals from every specific engagement he runs with his customers. We need to make sure those goals are tracked. We need to make sure that we are driving the company in order to get those goals. And we need to make sure that at every point in time, we actually check whether we met those goals, and if not, what are the things that we should change in order to drive for those goals. So the main thing around each blocks, and you will see it in a minute, is first of all, I have a very clear goal that I'm defining, and I have a set of KPIs that I would like to use in order to make sure if I'm meeting my goal. Success blocks will be the unit that we can right now deploy as part of the customer journey. Each success block, one of them can be onboarding, renewal, upsell. The ones that you will decide that are relevant for your company will have specific goals and KPIs to measure it. And each one of them can be treated as a customer success module or application. And you can deploy the ones that are very specific to your organization. Now think about applications, for example, in a mobile phone. Why those are so easy to consume, so easy to get used to and to start to work with? Because they are very focused, very specific for the goal you had in mind. If I have an application, Get Taxi, that I'm now using every day when I'm here, the purpose is to order a cab and to make sure that I will get to work on time. Each one of those success blocks has a very specific goal. If I'm looking on onboarding success block, for example, there are very clear goals, what I would like to achieve in onboarding, and how do I measure that, and eventually, what are the specifics that I need to do in order to get to those goals. So those success blocks are critical components. And again, it's so easy to relate to them because it's very, very similar to applications that you're using on your phone, and you'll see it in a minute. This is an example for how a specific success block is look like. So in this example, you can see I chose an expansion. You can see a list of success blocks. Those can be very specific to your organization. You can define that for your organization, you would like to have customer relationship success block, expansion success block, renewal success block, and onboarding success block, because this is what's relevant for your organization. You can define each one of them, or even better, you can leverage our best practices that are created based on what we learned in the market. So we know from all our customers and from many other engagements that we were working with, what am I looking to get in onboarding? What are the KPIs that I'm using in order to measure my success in onboarding? At the end of the day, those are very, very similar between each one of the companies. It might be different between different segments. If I'm looking on one customer that is part of a mid-market versus an enterprise, but my goals are very, very aligned. So I can define what are the goals, and I can define what are the KPIs to measure them. Imagine that right now I can go to a board meeting or a meeting with my CEO and show him exactly what happens with expansion in our company. Here is the goal, here are the numbers. Very, very easy to see where am I with my organization. And this is only, as I mentioned, one example, the expansion. But you can define any type of success block that you would like or leverage to Tango best practices in order to be able to get quicker to the goal that you are using. These are customized or things that you can leverage out of the box. Again, another example for renewals, and you can get all the data that is out there. So the data is there. We are helping you to make sure it will be exposed, and the whole team will operate around this data. You can see that additional capabilities around the success block, and we won't drill down to all of it. I'll be more than happy to share more on the Tatango, near the Tatango table outside. But besides seeing what's the scorecard and where I am with the success block, I have all the tools that I need in order to drive for those specific goals. So success block encapsulate within it whatever my organization need, for example, in order to achieve renewal. Again, this is almost like a renewal application that sits on top of the data that you already have. Just in very high level, and we will not drill down to the details, the way Tatango is built is we have our core data platform, where all your data exists. We have a different layer on top of it, which encapsulates all the customer intelligence. Lot of work that we are doing here in Tatango Labs in Israel, as well as within Kiab with our company that was acquired, that Personity, that is now part of Tatango Lab. Lots of AI mechanism in order to make sure that whatever data you have in Tatango, you will be able to leverage correctly. And then on top of it, the different applications, the different success blocks that I refer to. Those can be either custom, the way you would like to create them, or you can have the out-of-the-box one that we have created and we are sharing in Tatango. So just before we'll move on, the main benefits of Spark is the agility, the ability to deploy one success block, to have a success with it, and then to deploy additional ones within the company, making sure that you can codify the best practices. You can define for each success blocks what are the best practices for your organization. You can have a very clear standardization within your company using success block. You can define it for one team and then deploy it for each one of the team. So if you have multiple teams, for example, that are working with an enterprise customers, you can deploy the success block or define them within one team and then take it to the rest of the company. And the most important thing, you have your goals and you have accountability for those goals. You know exactly who is driving for those goals. One specific implementation that I would like to refer to, as I mentioned before, Tatango has implemented customer success for SAP, the biggest customer success implementation technology that was happening till today in less than 6 months. This is a project that ended at the end of last year. We have managed, as I mentioned, first of all, to go from kickoff to a full deployment in less than 6 months. There are a lot of numbers here that I don't think I should go over all of them, but the main important one is to see how many CSMs are now using Tatango. How Tatango can help an enterprise company take all the practices that they have around customer success and move forward with them and make sure that the whole company is following the methodology of what does it mean to be a customer-centric organization, and what does it mean to have a specific methodology for customer success and then leverage that within the whole company. There were more than 30 integration, 30 data sources that fed their data to Tatango. Imagine all the systems that you have in your company pushing the data to one system, to Tatango, and then Tatango, based on this data, can help you make sure that you operationalize the whole company around customer success. Few things that were learned within this enterprise implementation and a few other enterprise implementation that we did. The biggest thing is start with the big picture. Make sure that you understand what do you want to achieve and then focus on the different engagement, the different success blocks that I defined. We again looked on it as an agile delivery. We have defined a specific success block, and then once we had a success with that, we could move to the next one. The core important thing is that data must be aligned to what you're trying to achieve. One of the things that we see with many enterprise companies is that the business are bringing customer success. They would like to see customers happy with the service that they are getting. And then in order to drive for the right customer success, you need to have the different data flow into the system. This is sort of a balance between the business and the IT team. Who controls the engagement with customer success? Based on what we learned, and our recommendation is obviously business needs to make sure that he controls the whole effort around customer success, but he needs to be very aligned with the IT team in order to make sure that the data that you have is the right data. And last point here, which is very, very crucial, CSM feedback is very, very important. At the end of the day, those are the people that are working with the systems. Those are the people that needs to be happy, needs to be satisfied with the service that they're getting, and needs to feel that they managed to do their work in the right way. Unless they will be happy, it will be a problem. And one of the things that we learned among each one of those enterprise customers is that having a user acceptance testing at the end of the implementation is very, very important. Getting the feedback and making sure that you are pushing this feedback in, and then based on that, change whatever you need in the process is a very, very crucial step. As I mentioned before, one of the things we want to make sure is that whenever you're starting with, define one success block and then move to the rest of them. It doesn't make sense to implement everything and to assume that you will finish the deployment in a year. It won't give you anything. You need to see practical results very, very quickly. Define one success block. Define that you would like to see success and goals in 2 months. Make sure that those are happening, and once those are happening, you can move on to the next one. So just to summarize, customer success, as we all, I hope, agree, is not a function. Customer success is a company mindset. And if one thing I need you to remember out of all this session, besides the tango, obviously, is the fact that the whole company needs to be aligned around customer success. This is a crucial part. Customer success connects all the data points around your customers. Whatever data you have needs to feed in, and eventually it's a data that you can use in order to make sure that your customers will be happy. And lastly, we can help you make sure that whatever you're doing right now with your customer success, whatever engagement you would like to start and codify, wherever you want to start and then take it forward, we will be happy to make sure that we are riding this journey with you, helping you to ensure that the first success block will be successful based on all the data that you have, and then making sure that this success will be something that can be repeatable among other areas. With that, I would like to thank you. And if there are any questions or comments, we are there at the Tatango booth outside. We'll be happy to meet you. Thank you.